Hello Internet, I am the Phones 270, and here today we have the first game in the first round of the 2020 Steamed Hams Open Warhammer Total War 2 Championships. I am here today with the President, CEO, God King, Runehammer Slayer of the tournament, Mr. JJ. How are you doing, JJ?
Hello, it's me.
It's him.
Doing very well.
Very well.
I'm interested to see how this tournament goes. It's essentially just me and some of my friends, and we've decided to put on a little tournament, give us something to do. So we're playing kind of like large size funds, unit caps, and not a strong comp around that. It's pretty casual, and we're just gonna have fun, pretty much.
Depends how much of a tryhard you are.
See who wins. I'll put up the brackets on the screen now so you can see, and I'll put the armies that each player are using, and then you can just follow as we go through. It's the first tournament we've ever done, so getting used to this whole production thing. Hopefully there'll be a lot more to come. And this game we've got me playing my Dwarfs against Ted playing his Brettonia.
So we've got the Brettonia over here. There was a funny conversation actually in the lobby about he had 300 gold and didn't know how to spend it. Well, here it is. We have 3 peasant mobs in the front row here. Very important.
Was that what I decided?
That's why that was his big brain play that I made the comment on. Was there's 3 peasant mobs here to eat up any initial fire. They are backed up by 3 units of foot squires, so it's quite a beefy front line for Brettonia here. You know, there's no men at arms nonsense going on here. And then we've got 3 units of peasant bowmen with pox arrows. And that's all the Brettonia, apart from the important part, the horses. We've got some Grail Guardians on the back, and then we've got a flank here, 2 wedge formation units. We have the Defenders of Fleur de Lis, which is a regiment of renowned Knights Errant, and also the Companions of Cornelis, which are the regiment of renowned questing knights. I love these guys because they have carpentry. Yes, they have custom bookcases on their backs with little Bibles and ropes and things tied to it. I think they look absolutely fantastic. I don't know if do the normal questing knights have this? I have no idea. I didn't notice it before.
I don't play Brettonia, I've forgotten.
Who the hell plays Brettonia? No.
They're too basic. I need things with beards.
Beards, not enough beards in Brettonia. Okay, fair enough. Speaking of beards, we have the Fey Enchantress on a unicorn.
Speaking of beards.
Yeah, look, the unicorn.
She got a beard?
No, the unicorn does. Look at the little tuft on the unicorn.
Oh, so it does.
Little chin fluff.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, so the Fey Enchantress is going to be leading this. On the other side, we have Dwarfs. So, JJ, do you want to talk us through this absolutely disgusting... Of course, this is a casual tournament list.
Yeah, it's 4 units of Dwarf Warriors, just to be a frontline, take the hit. Got a unit of Iron Breakers as well to toss their satchel charges and just be really tanky and badass. 3 units of Quarrelers with great weapons. I quite like taking them with the great weapons just so they can deal with what usually charges them, which would be like the cavalry or whatever. They're usually large. So I don't know, it's just nice to have something with a bit more punch. Got 2 units of Slayers that I use to defend my backlines, like the cannon. Gotrek, because he's just a beast. He's so cool. Bellegarde, he's just, again, a badass dwarven hero. I played his campaign recently, he was really fun. And one of his ghosty Rune Lords, which buffs up my guys and debuffs his army as he's coming in. I can make them a lot slower and make my guys a lot tankier, and he's just a great utility piece. He's ethereal as well, so he can be really difficult to get rid of. And that's pretty much that.
That's what we're rolling.
So how about we get into this, Martin?
Yeah, bells off. So teams are going to square it up so as if you're against Dwarfs and they have a cannon and you don't, then you're going to be advancing. So the Brettonia are making their moves here across the battlefield where these guys aren't. Yeah, I don't know why these guys aren't. There we go. Horses are making their moves. So yeah, so what was your game plan going into this, since we have one of the players actually talking about the game here? What were you thinking?
Turtle up, sort of classic dwarf. Take a hit and then just adapt and try and survive as they've hit me, like use my buffs and try and defend my vital pieces like the cannon with the Slayers. Try and get Godric in and take out some of his important pieces because he just hits so hard. The Paladin was the only thing I could see at the moment, so I shot it with the cannon. and ended
shit.
up doing some pretty good damage to it.
You killed two
one of them.
You killed two Grail Guardians there as well. It was brutal.
Oh, excellent
Notice
shot.
you were missing the Paladins and hitting all his troops behind it. It's unfortunate. I think the
Collateral
strat,
damage or
yeah,
whatever.
the strat of having the Paladins distract the cannons only works if all his army isn't behind the Paladins anyway. Otherwise, it's kind of wasted effort.
I spotted this flank coming round with the 2 regiments of renowned cavalry coming round, so I was just sort of trying to move my infantry to intercept them, or at least be facing them when they charged, and trying to understand where the Paladins were going, because they ran to this side and then they come back over.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to support this initial charge over here, and then they kind of do this swerve maneuver. It was very...
First I had my quarrelers aiming forward, and then it was just peasant mob, they're crap anyway, so I tried to like shoot some of the Paladins. Whether that was the best idea or not, I'm not sure. But quarrelers just do a lot of damage, so it seemed like the right thing to do.
Yeah, take a few
The
shots.
cannon, big mistake with the cannon there, I left them shooting the Paladin, which is my bad.
So the cannon spent a lot of time turning around.
Yeah. They might take out some quarrelers here as well, it's hard to tell. But I've got the Rune Lord doing some buffs to try and make this charge from the Paladins not hurt as bad. Still waiting on this flank, on my right flank, for his cavalry charge from the regiments renowned.
Big satchel charge on one of the peasant mobs as well, which, you know, if you want one of the units to get satchel charged, you want it to be the peasants. So not the worst thing in the world for the Brettonia there, but you know, kills are kills.
It was a good pickup he done there, because I didn't want my quarrelers to shoot the peasant mobs. Like they done their job.
Yeah, the peasant
they
mobs
allowed the foot squires to get in, and the foot squires ended up doing really well.
Yeah,
as you'll see.
You don't count on the Bretonnia infantry to hold up against the dwarf infantry really in this case. But yeah, but it's as I said, the no men at arms nonsense here. We got foot squires going in. So, and here we go. The cavalry's finally coming in on the right hand side. A big wedge charge into the slayers.
As you see, Belegar mixed with the quarrelers with great weapons have seen off these 2 paladins. One of them is still in there. He's about to rout, and the other one is already routed.
Yeah, having your quarrelers just whack out great weapons when they get charged is utterly brutal.
Yeah, he's done a nice little charge with his. He's got into my cannon here and knocked the cannon crew miles. they're far away from their guns now.
It took them a while to find them.
I do have a lot of slayers though, as I said, to defend this back line. So them and Gotrek are starting to chew into these knights.
Yeah, there's a charge into the quarrelers. They immediately turned around to get the other quarrelers. There's a lot of horse micro going on here. It was actually very good to watch.
They've done well.
Brettonia are all about the horses, and that's, you can see it. Where are they? There should be another. Yeah, there we go. There's the other Girl Guardians here.
Trying to bring my quarrelers back into a position where they're not in combat, but he's just got so many horses diving in and out of the backfield. I'm a bit slow getting the Gotrek and the Slayers back in after they seen off the last of the horses that they were fighting. I think they retreated.
Yeah, they're still over here.
Pretty sure using them to take out this paladin who's come to try and disrupt the cannon crew again. He's played it well. He's got into my units that I don't want him to get into.
Yes. If there were anything other than dwarves, that would be a real problem. But that's what I've said this before. The Brettonia, the big knights, they hit the dwarfs. The dwarfs were flying. It all looks fantastic. There's horses all over the backline. But then all the dwarfs stand up. It's very disappointing if you're not the dwarf player, because it looks
hardy
like
folk.
so much. Aye, hardy. They're sturdy folk, the dwarves. So they tend to get up again. There's Ironhammer getting stuck in this front line. So I was saying, the dwarf warrior front line is kind of wearing a bit thin at this point. You know, the foot squares have done a really good job, and the peasant mobs have come back as well as these archers still firing. So the front line's going quite well for Brettonia, but a lot of the valuable dwarf units are in the back, and the heroes are still all alive. The slayers are still all alive, so there's still a lot of work to be done at this point.
Gotrek just finished off that paladin, allowing the cannons to get back on and start shooting at these peasant mobs that have just been laying into my dwarfs with the pox arrows.
Ah, yes. Ooh, are these Girl Guards going to get charged? No, they're not. Oh, those dwarfs, they had the right idea and they turned around, oh no!
It is hard to chase things down with the dwarfs, so like trying to stop these archers from shooting, like, we're just so slow, it's an only issue. And if we get pulled apart too far, it's hard to like stay together, you know what I mean? Like, we can't be chasing off archers and then pull apart our formation.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Sent Gotrek in there and gave the Fey Enchantress a hiding. She's been routed. She's running away there.
Oh, she's hanging around in the front line. That's no good.
Yeah, she got stuck into some.
Oh, we got Gotrek breaking these guys' drawers. The
he's just
Carpentry's
smashing
taking a beating
everyone.
here.
Cannon's still up and running
Cannon's up.
for now.
Oh,
Looks like he's trying to get his Grail Guardians in, but they're not quite doing it.
Not quite yet, no.
It looked really scrappy, and I was sort of. I was just trying. I was concentrating to try and keep this alive. Like, it was probably the closest game I've had with this army for a while.
Yeah, the
But as you can
Bretonnia
see, I've still got all my heroes full health pretty much here, which is just huge in the balance of power.
Yeah, Gotrek's full, there's Ironhammer full. I'm not sure where your Ghosty Boy is. There he is, full health as well, running down.
He's running forward. He's using his he has a slow that he can use to stop the opponent running away as much. So try to do that just to chase them down and get stuck in. The Fey Enchantress has come back now. It's
only really the kind of archers and the Fey Enchantress left for Bretonnia. The knights are trying to do work in the back line, but as we say, you charge the dwarfs and they get up and start fighting you. It's not what Bretonnia want. They want to run through you and move on. But they're not getting to do that here. Morale's kind of breaking with the Fey Enchantress now breaking as well, and I think that's about it. Balance power looks like this one's over for the dwarves.
The dwarf warriors there, I spotted the Fey Enchantress come back, and I had that small unit. It must have been about 15 to 20 dwarf warriors. I just sent them over just to try and do a little bit more damage, and they just they just got stuck in. Literally broke her. She ran off.
Not made for melee combat. The horn on the unicorn is not long enough. Is the big problem.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Very hectic game. Very hectic game. A lot of like. I just sort of I managed to just leave my dwarf warriors and ironbreakers just fending for themselves, and then we had a sort of micro war in the back of my lines with all my heroes and quarrelers and slayers against his knights really and paladins.
Yeah, when we play games just kind of casually, we've seen JJ's dwarf army. It's like, oh, here's the dwarfs again, and it's really hard to do anything about it. And I was actually really impressed with this Bretonnia play because I was spectating the game as it happened, and I was thinking, holy hell, these horses are doing so much work, and I thought I was finally going to get to see these effing dwarfs die because oh my god, I'm so frustrated with them. But that's the thing, they just didn't, like, the front line just lived, the heroes untouched. At the end of the day, the horses did a lot, and there was a lot of dwarfs flying around, but most of them stayed alive, they did their thing, and the heroes were untouched. So eventually they're just going to chop through all the foot squires and anything that's left standing around. Peasant bowmen, not the best. Everything's so heavily armoured other than the slayers. I think he started targeting the slayers at one point, but with the pox arrows, I don't know if it was very effective, to be honest. You can see the archers' kills for Bretonnia really low.
So you probably could have brought the archers a bit further forward and start shooting the slayers or the quarrelers, but because the slayers were just dealing with the.
Let's see what it said. One slayer, one slayer, had 98 kills, so it could have made a big difference if he took down some slayers.
98 kills, and they weren't fighting a lot of infantry. It was mostly big things.
Yeah, 98 like Bretonnian heavy cav. Okay, good stuff. Well, there you go. Game 1 in the books. We'll see you guys for game 2.
Yep. Catch us then.